Something that differentiates Palestine from other states because of the occupation is the IDs of the Palestinians, as there are green IDs and blue IDs. But what does that mean exactly? Usually, green is a color of go or safety, and blue is the color of a clear sky. In occupied Palestine, that is not the case. There are citizens with a green ID, blue ID without a nationality, and a blue ID with a nationality. Things grew to be complicated over the years from the Israel occupation, and each ID gives different rights. Let's start with the green ID. The green ID usually means the carrier of this ID is prohibited from entering the capital of Palestine, Jerusalem, unless the Israel occupation gives a permit for that purpose, as well as prohibited from entering occupied lands of historic Palestine and restricted to stay in the West Bank only. They are prohibited to travel through any airport in the occupied lands, which leaves the option of going to the airport in Jordan. And in order to get to Jordan, they must cross the border controlled by the Israeli occupation that takes hours to cross due to the restrictions imposed by Israel on the green ID holders. But that's not all. It becomes more oppressive for the Palestinians living in the Gaza Strip, who are deprived from visiting their relatives and friends in either part of Palestine, and if they are identified in any part of occupied Palestine by the Israeli occupation authorities, they will be punished and deported back to Gaza. Carriers of blue ID without nationality means that they can enter and live in historic Palestine, but the occupation considers them residents, not citizens. In a common scenario, if a Palestinian Jerusalemite is to marry a Palestinian with a green ID and choose to live in the West Bank, the blue ID is automatically cancelled and right of residency is no longer valid, which means the carrier of the blue ID is no longer allowed to visit family members, work, or travel in Jerusalem. Adding to that, the Palestinians in Jerusalem are identified in their travel documents issued by Israel as Jordanians, not Palestinians, and their ID must be renewed every 10 years, otherwise they will lose their right of residence. Now, a carrier with a blue ID with nationality means that they can travel around the world and live in historic Palestine, but they face discrimination and racism because of the Israeli occupation government policies towards them, and the proclamation of the Jewish state law is a witness of that. In all cases, no matter what the ID a Palestinian carries, what each ID have in common is that they face the same discrimination for just being Palestinian.